Good morning. Welcome back to Planet Doug. And as you might be able to pick up on right away, this does not look like Tanjung Balai, does it? That is not the skyline of Tanjung Balai, Sumatra. That is the skyline, or part of the skyline of Kuala Lumpur. My visa expired in Indonesia. You get a 30-day visa on arrival, and then you can extend it for an extra 30 days, and that's it. There's nothing beyond that you can do. So I had to quickly pack up and get out, and I hopped on the Indomal fast ferry again and took the ferry from Tanjung Balai to Port Dickson. And then a friend of mine and strong Planet Doug supporter, KY, he picked me up at the dock in Port Dickson. And at that time, I was considering staying in Port Dickson because I'm just planning on a quick turnaround. My plan wasn't to spend a lot of time in Malaysia. I just wanted to get here, get reorganized, reset, and then turn around and go straight back to Sumatra quickly. So I was just going to stay in Port Dickson. It was the most convenient, and I was going to hop on the ferry again. But a few things happened on the journey, and I changed my mind mid-journey, and I decided to stay in KL again, partially because KY was meeting me at the dock, and he had a car, and he was driving to Kuala Lumpur. So I was like, well, why don't I just hop into his car and go with him? And he drove me all the way to my usual J Hostel hotel, J Hostel Masjid India. And I got a room there. One of the reasons I didn't stay in Port Dickson is that I couldn't really find a reasonable hotel there at a reasonable price. Everything was a little bit more expensive than it should be. And I guess that comes partially from the wallet shock of going from Sumatra to Malaysia, where everything is so much more expensive here. And yeah, you really notice that in your first couple of days, especially when you do the currency conversion. You have a meal here or something, and then you convert it into Indonesian rupiah, and you're like, whoa, wow, what an expensive dinner that just was. Because you have to adjust to the economy here, and my brain is still wired for the economy in Sumatra, and life there for a foreigner like me is a lot cheaper than here. So that works out pretty nicely for me. So I couldn't really find a reasonable hotel there, and I don't really know many people in Port Dickson, and I thought, might as well just come back to KL. So here I am, and one of the people I know here is fellow YouTuber Daryl from the Wander Eats channel, and I'm heading to meet Daryl for breakfast at a new cafe he discovered here in KL. It's called Ahma Kopi, so like Kopitiam style, I guess. I looked at their listing on Google Maps briefly. Looks nice. I guess it's quite new. Very clean on the inside. White walls, white everything. Looks very clean and like bright and inviting. Very new, like a very modern look to it, even though it is a Kopitiam. Specialty seems to be nasi lemak. But they serve, nasi lemak and kaya toast and all the standards that you would expect for a kopitiam. I'm not going to tell the whole story about. I didn't take any video either of my trip from Tanjung Balai to here. But yesterday I did record a behind-the-scenes summary. So I sat down in my hotel room on my bed, set up my GoPro, and I just talked for a couple of hours. And in a behind-the-scenes video, it's going to be on the Planet Doug behind-the-scenes channel, and I tell the story of the ferry ride to come here. It was a really amazing ride, really nice this time. It was really smooth up until I hit Malaysian immigration, and there's a little bit of a story there that you can dive into in my behind-the-scenes story. But I'm not going to recount the whole journey here. I just thought I'd start filming this morning and surprise people, like, surprise, I'm back in Malaysia. And yeah, it was quite a shock when I arrived. It always is. As I said, KY picked me up. And then just driving to Kuala Lumpur was pretty amazing. The waterfall over here. And yeah, just driving because of the highway system. Tanjung Balai, of course, is not a highly developed city or town. Doesn't have a highway system or anything like that. As far as I know, in the entire city of Tanjung Balai, a relatively large city if you think in terms of population, as far as I know, there isn't even one traffic light in the whole city. And there are no highways, no overpasses, nothing like that kind of modern infrastructure. And of course, if you're familiar with Kuala Lumpur, you know that, well, this is a land of nothing but giant skyscrapers and highway systems. So riding down the highway system to come here to KL with KY was pretty amazing. You really get a sense. In the first couple of days, I really love that feeling when you go from one country to a new country and your senses are so alive at the very beginning. You see, feel, smell, hear so many things. Everything feels so fresh and new. Then you get the contrast with where you just were. So I'm standing here looking around at these buildings in all directions, and it's like I'm in a state of awe, like, holy cow, look at this place. Of course, if you live here every day, you don't see it in the same way. But coming here straight from Tanjung Balai, it's really quite a surprise. Yeah, this Kopitiam, Ahma Kopi, is quite close to my hotel. It's probably one of the reasons Daryl picked it out for our breakfast, because he knows I can just walk there in a couple of minutes. Yeah, Ahma Kopitiam is supposed to be just up ahead here somewhere on the left. So not a long walk to get there. My appetite has not kicked in yet, so still don't really feel like a big nasi lemak breakfast. But we'll see. Maybe Daryl will get that. Looks pretty good in the pictures online. Looks like a good traditional nasi lemak. Oh, there it is right there. Ahma Kopi. I might even be here a few minutes early. I don't know if it's a chain or anything. The branding looks very professional, like they know what they're doing. So I was thinking maybe it could be part of a chain of some kind. There it is. Very new, very clean. Ahma Kopi Cafe. You can see right on the outside what I was talking about, the decor. Very clean, very white, very modern. There's the hours. Monday to Friday, 7:30 to 4:30. Saturday, 9 till 6. Closed on Sunday. They have a lunch set. Oh yeah, there's the nasi lemak lunch set for 16 ringgit, more or less. Nasi lemak kari ayam, mie sayam, kopi. And there's another, it looks like some outdoor seating there, another restaurant right beside it. For just a second I thought that was Daryl, but no, he said, Daryl, what happened? You look 20 years older, but that is not. There's the a nice view, the KL Tower right from here. Yeah, look at that set of buildings right across the street. That's interesting. This place is very new and modern, but look at that. Very older house, that one there, a whole series of older, more traditional homes. And it looks like, it looks like an interesting place to eat as well right there. Yeah, in KL, you could live here for 20 years. and keep finding new places to hang out, have some good food. Just the kind of city that it is. So anyway, Daryl has arrived. There he is. Maybe I'll get him to summarize what's been going on with Wander Eats while we're here. But for now, we're trying to figure out. As I said, I don't think I'm interested in the heavier meals right now, but they've got a weekday breakfast set here. A mini nasi lemak. Oh, that's interesting.
This one.
Okay, look at that. Sort of
Either the nasi lemak or the mee siam.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's mini mee siam,
Mini mee siam,
nasi lemak panas. But that does look smaller, though, than the regular
Yes,
nasi
correct,
lemak.
Definitely. There's no chicken here.
Right. So $9.90, and then there's like the kaya butter toast, egg on toast, $10.90 set B. So yeah, that's basically what you're looking at here. And there's specialty kopi or cham. Oh, definitely cham for me.
Okay.
I don't know if it comes in a bag like that or not.
I have no idea.
We'll find out.
There's others as well.
Oh yeah, the rest of the menu,
Okay.
coffee, tea, specialty.
Ganito.
Oh
Chair
yes, definitely.
All right.
I saw a photograph of that,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh yeah, that looks good.
All right. Let's have that.
Yeah.
So what? You're having this?
Yeah,
egg on
set
toast?
B,
All right,
egg
all
on
right.
toast,
Okay.
and then with cham.
All right, and we'll order two then, one
Yeah.
for each of us.
Yeah, that
Okay.
sounds good.
Okay.
And here's the interior, as I said, very clean, very white, very nice. I'll let Daryl pick out where we sit, because I always pick the worst possible place. But yeah, tables for 6 people. It's very nice. Oh, it looks like we even could have done the QR code ordering. I didn't know that. But Daryl is the master of ordering, so I just let him deal with it. I love it when someone else takes over that chore. Instagram location. So Ahma must mean like grandmother. Yeah, I put it into Google Translate, Ahma, but it didn't translate it into anything. But this chair, this whole setting feels very, very, yeah, this is definitely a grandmother setting. So do you know, is it a chain or is this a one location?
No, I think it's only one that I know of.
Okay. It just feels so polished in terms of its presentation. It feels like it must be part of a chain, but it also feels very special.
We'll ask.
Yeah. All right. Food and drinks has started to arrive, and yeah, it's very fun. Just talking with Daryl about the presentation of their drinks. Look at that. It's very cool, very exciting. A little to-go bag that you can walk around with it, and comes with a twisty straw. And then Daryl figured out that if you wanted to seal it, you can. You pull out the straw, and then you can seal the bag all the way across the top. So, yeah. Ahma Kopi, pack of positivity. Very cool.
Oh, so it's different. Mine is different.
Oh, relax la minuman kopi dulu. I don't know what that
Means
is.
drink coffee first.
Okay. All right. So I got the cham, a little bit lighter colored. You just got the
Coffee.
just copy.
Yeah, straight up.
And what did you order for food?
The mee siam.
Oh, okay. Museum.
So they do have the fish cakes,
I see.
the eggs, and the sambal.
Nice.
Small though, but it's more than enough for breakfast for sure.
Yeah. So the rest of the food has started to arrive. I've got my egg on toast, which I should be eating already because it's going cold. Daryl and I've been babbling away, and our curry puffs here. Very excited about that. But what I wanted to do on video was take a sip of my cham. I consider myself to be something of a cham expert, a connoisseur of cham.
Champion.
Yes, yeah, champion. See what this, see how this tastes. Very smooth. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing in terms of Malaysian cham, because I think traditional kopitiam, you want that bitterness, a little bit of a bite to it. You don't want smooth Starbucks. You want gritty village atmosphere. And you're not getting that with this. This is more upper class, kind of smooth. And I love the presentation. As I said, that's just a lot of fun. I wonder if they have like a marketing company that did all this for them, or is there a grandma who has very strong sense of design and marketing fun? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to dive into my egg on toast. A rare nighttime Planet Doug experience with KY.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring him out.
Yeah, he's taking me out into the world. We're going to a place, some sort of a presentation or a gathering.
It's what I mean for, but of course, for Doug, it's just general knowledge.
Yeah, just to see something new. But yeah, it's a company or that sells like special water filter systems that make very, very healthy water. I know nothing about it. We're going to go there and then probably afterwards get something to eat.
You brought your water bag?
I don't have it with me.
Oh, it's not with you right now?
No, it's in. There was no reason for me to bring it with this time.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, he was telling me to bring my water bag. I could get 10 liters of super powered healthy water, but not tonight.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're hopping in the car and just going for a ride somewhere. See where we end up.
All right.
Well, KY took me on a little bit of an adventure. We drove all the way to Klang. So yeah, I didn't even know where we were going. But yeah, I just put myself in KY's hands and just...
Don't worry.
I know it's going to be an adventure wherever we go. So here we are.
That will have some story to tell.
No, I was just telling KY that I have memories of Klang because the very first time I went from Malaysia to Sumatra, this was like way before I even had a YouTube channel, before didn't even have a smartphone back then, no laptop, no tablet, didn't know about Google Maps, and I just rode my bike. Oh, we're heading over here. Rode my bike from KL to Klang, and here's where I got the ferry the first time going to Sumatra. And that was years and years and years ago. So being in Klang is kind of a walk down a memory lane for me.
All right. Okay, Jeff, let's go in.
All right. So I'm winding up the evening here. We're just saying to KY, I've run out of words because I met up with Daryl this morning and we had breakfast, and Daryl and I stayed at that new Kopitiam for about 4 hours just talking nonstop, and I recorded a behind-the-scenes video the morning before where I talked for hours. So yeah, my brain has run out of words. So but yeah, we left from the place where they're giving the presentation. There's about all these health products for special water, healthy water,
radiation.
Yeah, special device for
radiation harmonizer.
Yeah, radiation harmonizer, and then some turmeric-based supplements. So there's a man there at the front of the room. I didn't take any video of it because I wasn't sure whether I was allowed to or could or anything. But anyway, there's a man there who runs this operation, and he gave a presentation for a series of 4 different products.
Yes.
But he had it's like a multimedia presentation with big widescreen TVs with English videos, and so I could understand everything that was going on. And it was actually quite interesting because he gave a physical demonstration, because this filter that they use produces a special kind of water with all kinds of properties, and he demonstrated it like a chemistry teacher almost, like putting out different types of water and then their special water made with this filter, and then adding oil and iodine and different chemicals and showing how it reacts with the different types of water, basically demonstrating why this filtered water was better for your health than all these other types of water. And it was quite well done, very professional, very interesting. And yeah, got to sit in on all of that. And they gave us a good meal before it, so that was nice. And yeah, so that was very interesting. I'd never seen anything like that before. And I said we were in Klang, but we weren't actually all the way in Klang or Port Klang. We were in Shah Alam, like right on the border between Shah Alam and Klang. So that's where we were. And now that that is over, KY is over here.
Yeah.
And KY has brought us to his favorite satay place.
Chili place at midnight.
Yeah, it's pretty late at night. Check that out. 12:30. That's very rare. Planet Doug to be out at 12:30 having satay.
That's a train.
Yeah, there's a train going by.
Right out.
I was just joking with KY that he is going to eventually get me back into KL at some point. Because if he runs away right now, I have no idea how I'm going to get back. I don't know if the trains probably aren't running anymore anyway, so
No.
I'll have to just lie down here and go to sleep or something.
No, I would not let that happen to Brad. Come on.
But yeah, we're waiting for some satay, and actually an iced coffee is going to wake me up a little bit, I hope. But without the good water, though. It's ordinary water.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll show you what the satay looks like, and then I'll probably be shutting down the GoPro for the night. Yeah. Food has arrived. Quite the feast. Very, very interesting as well. So all the satay. So yeah, well, you are the host for this. Tell us about what's going on here.
Okay. Usually you don't need. You can. I usually finish up a single plate, and I still have more satays. So that's why they kind of give me extra.
Ah,
So this is just a simple set. 5 pieces of chicken and 5 pieces of beef with all the condiments, and of course compressed rice.
yeah.
And that's it.
And it's like a peanut sauce, right?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. We got a train, another train going by.
Yeah,
It's a loud one.
yeah. Locomotive.
Yeah.
Cargo train.
Yeah. Hot country like Malaysia, like after midnight, you can see so many people are still out because it's cooler,
Yeah.
right? That's the mistake I always make. Even when I was in Sumatra, I go out during the day, the hottest time of the day. But yeah, there goes the train. And I got an iced milk coffee.
Are you thirsty?
Not yet. Yes, I should taste my iced milk coffee. Comes in a bag, but then the bag is inside a container. Kind of interesting style. See what I got going on here.
How is it?
Yeah, that's Kopitiam coffee. This place I went to with Daryl this morning. It was called Ahma Cafe, but it's kind of modern and sleek and very clean and white. And the cham there and the coffee, it didn't taste like kampong coffee. It didn't have that bitter quality to it. It was really, really smooth. It was really good,
Okay.
but it didn't taste like Kopitiam coffee. This has like a little bit of a bitter edge to it. So this tastes like authentic kampong coffee, you know,
Okay.
Kopitiam coffee.
I'm glad Doug loves his coffee now.
Yeah, it's nice.
Probably
All right.
give him some boost of energy.
Yeah, I need some energy. I'm running out.
All right.
But yeah, let's dip some of this satay in the peanut sauce. Yeah, the peanut sauce is sweetened. Yeah, it's a sweeter kind of sauce. And I love this compressed rice combined with the peanut sauce. And then you got some assorted veggies as well. Because that's the chicken.
Yep.
And this one,
Beef.
beef. Get it dipped into the peanut sauce. very tender. So how did you find this place?
After driving Grab at midnight, I was passing by.
Oh,
I wonder what's going on there. Then I tried and everything. After a late night drive, then I think, okay, let's have satay. This is my go-to place every night.
yeah. You say they do a nice job. All right.
If you don't want to know, the location is in Lambah Pantai.
Lambah Pantai. Well, so that's it for tonight, I think. Saying goodbye to KY.
See you next video.
All right, shutting down for now. I've jumped ahead in space and time, and I'm here at the entrance to another hiking area inside Kuala Lumpur city itself. This is the Bukit Gasing Hill. Bukit means hill, and I think Gasing means top or something like that. But I spotted this on Google Maps. And in fact, a couple of nights ago, I was having satay with a friend of mine, and it turned out the satay place was like right on the other side of this hill. And I remembered, I made a note of this place. I wanted to check it out sometime. So here it is. I got down here on the LRT system to the Tamanjaya station, and then I walked from Tamanjaya to here. So it's about a 2-kilometer walk, but it takes you through some really interesting residential area. You can see a little bit of it here, but it's like big, beautiful houses, like individual houses with big fences around it. So you see some really nice houses all through this area, all around Bukit Gasing. And yeah, there's been a surprising number of people going in and out already. And there's a map over here. The trails are not as well laid out as at Bukit Dinding, where I was before. So, like when you look at the map here, you don't really see like individual trails that you can follow. It just has a whole bunch of small lines. So, from a distance, you can't really figure out how to get around. So, basically, just go in, I guess, and then just start finding your way. Yeah, but there's the map for the whole park, and then the entrance gate. So I'm on my way in. I'm inside the park now, really nicely shaded, which is what I was looking forward to, because even walking from the LRT station to here, you're out in the sun, and you can tell I haven't even started the hiking trail yet, and I'm sweating like crazy. But I met a man at the entrance who comes here all the time, and he was giving me lots of information about where to go, and it's kind of a good thing he did, because when I came in, I saw this trail, and people were talking about the main trail, and I just thought, well, that must be where I should go. But he says, no. What you want to do is go down here, and this will take me to the suspension bridge, which is the main attraction that I want to see here. So, yeah, so he saved me, and he said there's a lot of mosquitoes and things, so he actually gave me some mosquito repellent, which I applied to my lower legs and my arms. So. Though, to be honest, all the kind of the trails that I've seen here in Malaysia, I really haven't encountered many bugs at all. Certainly not compared to what you would find in Canada. You step into the forest in Canada and you get eaten alive. So here it has always struck me as pretty mild. But I don't anticipate these trails being anything like the difficulty level at Bukit Dinding. But again, yeah, like right out of the gate, look at this. I mean, these are easy trails, everyone tells me, but a lot of roots you can trip over. And I can imagine some very slippery conditions after a rain. But this is just I think it's a much lower hill, this one, and I don't think there's going to be any need for ropes or anything like that. But my informant did tell me that if you come here on a Saturday or a Sunday, be very, very busy. All this like huge residential area I pointed out, I think there's a lot of retirees here, and like elderly people that are yeah, like myself, who are looking for some, weekend exercise. So they all come out here. But yeah, already I'm not quite sure which way to go. The trail splits. Goes over there and over there. And the trails at Bukit Dinding were very nicely marked with color coding and ribbons and things. So you really knew where to go. It looks like these trails are not as clearly marked. So you just sort of go in and loop, do lots of loops and find your way in and out. I only brought my GoPro with me, so I can't do any close-ups or anything very interesting, but right out of the gate. Lots of mushrooms, you see that? Similar to Bukit Dinding. Though I don't think I saw that kind of mushroom at Bukit Dinding, so it's a brand new type. Some there, and then down here, fungi. So probably see a lot of fungi here. And I think on the weekend, according to what I read, there would be people along the trails selling cold drinks and snacks and things. But this is a Monday morning, by the way. I woke up really early this morning, like 5:30, intending to be here just as the sun was rising. But when I got up this morning, it was heavily overcast and it looked like it was going to rain all day. So I decided not to come here. But the next time I looked outside, the sun had come out. So even though it's kind of midday, which is late for me to head out, I just decided to come anyway, even though it was later in the day. Yeah, it's nicely shaded, as you can see. So it doesn't matter that we're here in the middle of the hottest part of the day. Came upon another intersection trail heading straight up there, a huge tree falling over the trail, one going up and down here. But there is a sign here. I don't really know what it all means, but there's a Petaling Jaya exit, the Kuala Lumpur exit. So I think Petaling Jaya exit, that's right where I was. So that's the entrance and exit, the gate that I just used. And I think Kuala Lumpur exit, that's the other main exit. And then the bridge, Jambatan Gantung. I think that is a suspension bridge. So I want to head off in this direction, I'm guessing. Lovely park. Very, very nice. Like, first impressions are great, especially when you consider it's right in the heart of the city. We're surrounded on all sides by apartment blocks and residential districts. And yet, man, you could convince yourself, other than the bricks and the steps, you could convince yourself you're in the middle of a rainforest, deep in the jungle somewhere. Yeah, as you can see, skies are clear, so if you're out there, the sun would be beating down, but nicely in the shade in here. A lot of big steps, so even though these are easy trails, you still got to be in relatively good condition, have good mobility, because you look at how high up these steps are. You've really got to be able to climb up these high steps. Yeah, and of course people are carving new routes all the time. It looks like this section was washed away, and then people started carving a new section along here. Yeah, there'd be a lot of erosion here, and if they weren't paying for maintenance, I can see these trails being wiped out by the rains pretty quickly. But yeah, going up these steps would take it out of your legs if you're not in good enough condition. That's the direction I came from, and I just arrived at this another junction here, and has a different type of map. There's the same map that I saw at the entrance, but that one is not that informative, I find. But this one, an older map here, just gives you a much better idea of what you're looking at. So I'm here, there's that junction, and then you can see it shows just one main trail going all the way up here, going to the suspension bridge. And then there's little ones going off. So it kind of makes a distinction between the main trail and then little side routes that you can follow. So this gives you a better idea. And this is the big hill, I think, with the antennas on it and another bridge here. And I remember like reading online that there was something about a haunted house, like there's an abandoned house in here that's supposed to be haunted or something like that. I think I saw a photograph of that. But yeah, beautiful trail, really nice, wide and smooth. And I think in terms of this particular trail, where I am now is about as high as you go. So the climbing that I did, that's pretty much all the climbing you're going to encounter, I think, unless you go up to that higher viewpoint. So it's not a challenging trail, though I could be speaking too soon. Who knows? I'm at the very beginning, right? I don't want to jinx myself, but yeah, looking ahead, trail's going down a little bit, so I'm sure we'll go down and up, but it doesn't look like anything too out of the ordinary. Just a pleasant trail. Still walking along. I think I'm just over halfway to the hanging bridge. There have been a lot of very helpful, convenient signs along the way, pointing the way to the hanging bridge, all in English. So once you're on this trail, you're pretty much good to go. So yeah, here's another trail map. Yeah, I'm almost there. Got a "you are here" note here, and there's the bridge. And then here's the entrance down here. Hutan, which means forest, I think. Hutan pendidikan kaan Bukit Gasing. I've seen some monkeys up in the trees. It's interesting that in the forest, and I assume in any kind of jungle, animals make a tremendous amount of noise. And they always sound much bigger than they actually are. I mean, you hear something off in these trees here, and to me it sounded like a hippo or a rhinoceros charging in my direction, or a gorilla or something. And then I looked up in the trees, and it was a relatively small monkey, smaller and thinner than a macaque, and a long, thin tail, very agile, leaping from tree to tree. But whenever it hit a new tree, it made practically an explosion sound of breaking branches, and leaves would start falling down from the trees. So it just sounded like a much larger animal than it actually was. And that's always the case in forests. I don't do a whole lot of camping, but in the past, when I have gone camping, I've noticed that when you're inside your tent and you hear something out in the bush in Canada, you think it's a grizzly bear, like an 800-pound monster that's going to eat you, and then you poke your head outside your tent with a flashlight, and the biggest thing it's going to be is a raccoon or a skunk, and usually it's something like a forest mouse, right? They just sound so big, especially at night. So anyway, I don't know what kind of monkeys these are. I'm gonna have to find out. I haven't seen any signs here about the wildlife, but I want to find out the name of these monkeys. They're beautiful, beautiful animals. But yeah, here's the trail up ahead. It's been going up and down gradually now and again. Very pleasant. So I think this park in general is very long and thin, and the trail follows the ridge line of this hill. So it's a long, narrow ridge carving through the city. So there's like a steep drop off on that side, and then a drop off on this side as well. And I think there's the possibility of exiting, like once you get to the bridge, you can actually exit from the park there as well. You don't have to backtrack all the way back to where I came in. I find I'm quite obsessed with signage in general. I'm a big believer in good signs, and I'm always puzzled by them because here it's pretty clear, hanging bridge, this direction, which is fine, and you get all that figured out, but then you come, I don't know, 20 feet down this trail, and then it splits that way or that way. And here's where you'd need the sign. So is that the direction I want to go or that direction? I don't know. They both seem plausible to me. I don't really know. I'm going to go this way first because I don't want to go down all the way back into the city. I don't want to exit. I'm assuming this is the way to go. Hear that sound? That's one of the monkeys. Where are you? Oh yeah, it's right on the other side of this tree. I can just see the tail and... Oh, there's a couple of them here. Hey there. There's two right there. Oh, another one making some noise over there. Another one. Yeah, they're quite small. But there it is right there. Or is that a macaque? I think maybe it is a macaque. Look at that. Can you imagine having the strength to do that, to leap that far and hold your body weight just with your hands? No, well, certainly this human couldn't do that. Look at that, some small ones there, some young ones. I was walking along and one of the monkeys right here in front of me. I guess they're relatively accustomed to humans. This one's letting me get quite close. Hey there. It doesn't even bother to look at me. It's quite, feeling quite safe. Wonder what their diet is up here. Must be something in these trees that they can eat. Yeah, assuming it's a large enough park to support a population like this, it would be an ideal place for them. Good habitat, assuming there's enough here to eat. Yeah, I don't think this goes to the bridge directly. I looked at Google Maps and I think this goes to a viewpoint, like hilltop. And then maybe from the hilltop I can go back down to the bridge. But anyway, I started this trail, so maybe I'll continue and finish it. See where it leads. Yeah, a lot of steps. Well, I have to say, I have no idea where I am. I went up to the top of this climb, and now I've been going down for a long time. And it looks like I'm crossing a small river here, and then climbing back up the other side. So there's a small river canyon here, a ravine. And I'm assuming the suspension bridge is on the other side of this ravine. So I think I'm on a loop that will eventually take me to the bridge, but I'm not really sure. I don't really see anything on the maps to indicate where I am. But yeah, I saw some people coming up, like going up, and they were breathing really, really hard when they got to the top. So I thought, where the heck did these people come from? And this is where they came from. So they've been climbing all the way up from here. So it's quite a long climb to get up to the very top from here. Oh, just stepped on a piece of rebar sticking up from this step construction. Yeah, look at that. It's a very rough climb going all the way up there. And here's the little stream. It's going in the wrong direction. Like, I just assumed it was flowing out this way, but it's actually coming down and flowing. This is the downward direction. That's weird. Huh, okay. Shows you how turned around I am. So now I have to climb back up out of this ravine. So there's the bridge. Yeah, so it turns out I did a loop. So in fact, my loop took me all the way up there to the top of the hill, then all the way down at the very end of the park, way down to the far northern tip. And then the loop turns around and then comes back to the bridge. So actually my trail took me behind the bridge. And had I gone to the left way back when, I would have gone directly to this bridge, and then I could have continued and done the loop to come back again. So it all amounts to the same thing. It just depends which direction you want to take the loop. I'm happy to have gone this way. Worked out. Yeah. Ah, cool bridge. And here we go across the bridge. Man, that is one giant thick cable. It's actually encased in a metal pipe, and then with the ropes around it. Yeah. Yeah, I can see if you're afraid of heights and this kind of jitteriness, this might freak you out a little bit. And you can take the trail down. Goes down, and it looks like you could just go across the stream. And you know, if the if the bouncy bridge is too much for you, but no, this is very cool. You definitely feel like you want to keep your hands holding on, though. Yeah, someone my height, I can see if you lose your balance, your hip will hit here, and you could pivot right over the side. So definitely hold on. And this, of course, is the view from the bridge itself. I went back and got my GoPro. Now I can film what it's like to be on the bridge. And that's the drop down to the water. That's a great little attraction as a goal, you know, to take the hike in order to get here to see the bridge and the fun of going across it. You really feel like you're in the jungle here. But yeah, there's the trail. If you wanted to, you could bypass the bridge and just climb up the other side, assuming the river is not running too high. Just coming across the second half of the bridge. It's a beautiful puppy showed up down there. Are you with some hikers, puppy? Or are you out here all by yourself? Hey. Yeah, that looks like maybe a mother dog. Huh, knows exactly where it's going. Maybe it lives up here. Yeah. Sweating pretty hard. May not look it because the t-shirt is black, but it's completely soaked. You can hear the sweat slap. Yeah, so here I am on the other side of the bridge, and I guess I have a choice. I can go back and exit from the park over there, go back into the city, or I can backtrack all the way to where I was. And of course, I think I'm going to backtrack. It's part of this trail I haven't seen yet, of course. And yeah, I don't mind going backwards. I just saw a squirrel. One thing I'm always surprised here, though, I don't see as many insects as I expect, being in a tropical rainforest. I expect to see more beetles and butterflies, but I see very, very few, almost no beetles at all. And like today, I haven't seen a single butterfly. I've been making my way along this path back from the suspension bridge. That's the direction I came from. This is where I'm heading, and right here is the Y. So this is where I was confused about which way I needed to go. And as it turns out, it doesn't matter. This forms a loop. And if you head in this direction, you go up to the top and then down to the bridge. If you go this way, you go down to the bridge, then back up to the top and down here again. So it's a loop. Whatever you feel like doing, when you go up first or up after the bridge. So that's what's happening there. And then this is the intersection here, and this goes back to the main gate. I don't really know where this trail goes. I don't think I'm going to go exploring more of the park. It looks like it just goes down out of the park. And I'm just going to follow the main trail back to the beginning where I came in. And that is in this direction. Almost at the beginning of the trail. The return journey is a lot faster than the heading out, because I didn't really notice it much, I guess, but heading from this entrance to the bridge, you're definitely going uphill most of the time. And I notice it now because almost the entire time going back, I've been going downhill, and that can be hard on your legs in a different way, but you're going faster, that's for sure. And I'm definitely not breathing as hard. Just have to make sure I'm placing my feet properly so I don't go tumbling down. Yeah, I can tell my left leg isn't nearly as strong as my right. If I have to step down a big step, and I do it with my right leg only, I can support my body weight pretty easily. But it's not as easy with just my left leg. It wants to collapse underneath me. Yeah, there's a lot of intersections where it's not entirely clear where you're supposed to go, but I think I keep going down. I think this is my way out. But as you can see, it's been going down, down, down. And you just have to keep an eye on your feet, particularly with the roots. It'd be pretty easy to trip over these roots if you're not careful. But yeah, I think I came up here. I don't really recognize it, but I'm pretty sure this is where I'm supposed to go. Down, 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 down. Steps. Yeah, right here. There's the cement, or not cement, but paving stone main walkway. This is where I started the path heading to the suspension bridge. But I still don't know where this goes. You would think this is the main path, right? I have no idea where it goes. And then there's some steps heading up in that direction, but I don't think I'm going to find out today. So I'm just heading out of Bukit Gasing. There's the entrance that I came in. And I was just going to walk from here back to Taman Jaya, but I met a fellow hiker, a local man, and he offered to drop me off at an LRT station. So I'm getting a lift, I think, to the Asia Jaya station. Oh, this is kind of cool. They actually have parking for bicycles. You can lock up your bike there. That's very rare in Kuala Lumpur. And parking for motorcycles. So that's it for this morning's small adventure. My good Samaritan, he dropped me off here at Asia Jaya. There's the Asia Jaya LRT station. I've been here before, quite familiar with this area, so yeah, very convenient. And yeah, he just continued driving in that direction there. He was telling me that there is actually history here as well, that outside of Bukit Gasing was the largest rubber plantation in Petaling Jaya. And still operating today. There's some rubber operations out in that direction. Because I was thinking that, like when I went to Bukit Dinding, it was interesting to go there because of the history with the rubber plantation, tin mining, and they shot some movies there, and there was the communist insurgency history there. So there was a lot going on. But for Bukit Gasing, I didn't really pick up on any history. But I guess if you dig a little bit deeper, you'd find out that there's the history of this area as well. But anyway, for now, I'm going to shut down. There's Asia Jaya. I'm going to hop in the LRT system and head back to my hotel. Welcome to the Blue Dot for my first video back in Malaysia, and I seem to be coming down with a cold, so you'll have to forgive the quality of my voice. Anyway, this video took place here in the city of Kuala Lumpur, which of course is the capital city of Malaysia, and I talk a little bit about where I was in Sumatra. So I pulled back a little bit just to give you a sense of where Malaysia and Sumatra are right here in Southeast Asia. To the north, we've got Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia. Off in this direction, across the Bay of Bengal, you've got India and Sri Lanka. And then to the east, the Philippines, and to the east, to the northeast, China and Taiwan. So let's zoom in on Kuala Lumpur. And when I get to this point, you can see here is the town of Tanjung Balai in Sumatra. So during this video, I do talk about how I started in Tanjung Balai, and then I took the ferry from here across the Malacca Strait to this town, Port Dickson. And then a friend of mine, let's zoom in on this a little bit, a friend of mine picked me up in Port Dickson and drove me to Kuala Lumpur. And if you look carefully at the Relive video for that, you'll see that we didn't take the main highway system back. We actually went off in quite a convoluted route. I don't even know what roads we followed, to be honest. But KY had to pick up a friend of his and then drive him to Nilai, to this town here. So we sort of went off in this direction, a meandering route, ended up in Nilai, and then we continued on to Kuala Lumpur. Here is a close-up view of downtown Kuala Lumpur. Up here you can see KLCC Park and the Petronas Twin Towers over there. Independence Square over here. The Kuala Lumpur Tower here. And then KY, he dropped me off right here at the J Hotel Masjid India. So that's where I've been staying. And the next morning, I think it was right away at the next morning, I met up with my friend Daryl for breakfast. And we went here. So here is Ahma Kopi in Kuala Lumpur. So I was staying here at the Super Oyo J Hotel Masjid India. And I just left on foot and I walked down the main street here, Jalan Ampang, turned here, and then turned down here, and then I met up with Daryl at Ahma Kopi, and that's where we had breakfast. Later in the day, KY picked me up at my hotel, and then he drove us way back in this direction. So let's set this up a little bit better. So we started off here in downtown Kuala Lumpur. And again, I don't know exactly what roads he followed. I didn't pay that much attention. But we headed off in this direction following some of these roads. And then we ended up somewhere around here. And this is the border between Shah Alam and Klang. So right in here somewhere. And that's where I went to see the presentation about all of the health products that I mentioned in the video, the supplements, the water filter. That was all taking place somewhere in here, though I don't know exactly where. And then when the presentation was over, we got back in the car and drove back through Shah Alam. And I believe we stopped off here. You see this green park right here? I believe that is, Bukit Gasing. So this is where I went hiking. But even before I was hiking, I stopped here with KY, and I think it was on, I'm not sure exactly which road. It was very near the railroad tracks. Somewhere in here, we stopped for Satay, and then here are the railroad tracks. So when we were sitting here eating Satay, we could hear and see the trains going up and down the tracks. And then I realized that we were right beside the Bukit Gasing Park, and this is the entrance, the trailhead here, the Bukit Gasing hiking trail. But I didn't go there until a couple of days later, and I got there by LRT, so I was back at my hotel, which is somewhere up in here. And then I went down to the Masjid Jamak LRT station, and then I took the LRT way down to the southwest to here, the Taman Jaya LRT station, and then I walked from here. It was very difficult to do. Kuala Lumpur is just not set up for walking, and I run into that problem all the time. I thought it would be quite simple just to walk from here to the trailhead. But even getting out of the LRT station was almost impossible. I just could not figure out a way just to walk out of the station and end up down on the streets. I kept ending up in this bus parking area. And then I found a weird gate that opened up here. And the only way I could get out was through this gate and then walk all the way down this street, finding another exit here through this alleyway. And then I crossed over this busy road, and then I went near this roundabout and walked all the way down here. So I walked in this direction, turned left, and then I went down here to here. Yeah, there it is. There's the entrance to the trails in the park. So I entered the park right here, and then I went on the hiking trail up to the northern tip, and this is where the there's the suspension bridge that I went to inside the park. So somehow or other I walked here, and then I went off on a loop, and the loop took me out in this direction and then circled back and went to the suspension bridge. And then I went back on the trail, the same trail all the way back here. And then I ran into the Good Samaritan, and the Good Samaritan drove me from here. So my original plan was just to walk back to Tamanjaya, but then he drove me to the next LRT station, which is called Asia Jaya, and it's somewhere down in here, but I don't know exactly where. But anyway, he drove me to Asia Jaya, and then I took the LRT from Asia Jaya. Is that Asia Jaya there? No, that's even further. Yeah, I'm not sure where it is. It's somewhere in here. But anyway, then I rode the LRT all the way back into Kuala Lumpur and then walked the short distance to my hotel. So that was a bit of a jumble as an explanation, and my voice is not really cooperating, so I didn't dive into the details of the story very much. I just wanted to give the idea of where I started from and where I ended up. From Tanjung Balai, taking the ferry to Port Dickson, from Port Dickson into Kuala Lumpur, and then in Kuala Lumpur I went to see Daryl at the breakfast place, and then drove down with KY to this area where I had the health presentation and the Satay, and then here in Kuala Lumpur I went to this hiking area, Bukit Gasing. And I believe I also mentioned while I was doing the hike, I referred to Bukit Dinding, which is where I went hiking the last time I was in Kuala Lumpur, and it is located up here. So that is Bukit Dinding up there. So here's Kuala Lumpur, and Bukit Dinding is off to the northeast, and Bukit Gasing is sort of to the southwest. So those are the hiking areas that I went to. So that is it for the blue dot for this video, and I hope that gives you a little bit of context for where I went. And I will see you and talk to you in the next video.